When you are engaging in the exchange as opposed to the transaction, the other side of the exchange is fulfillment. You have fulfilled the exchange of her feminine energy for your masculine energy. But on the other side of the transaction is nothing. Yes, you've gotten your temporary gratification. You got your roll out. You got that nut. Congratulations. You paid for it. And on the other side of it is emptiness. Because you have to acknowledge that this was not an organic experience. You did not experience the fundamental element of the human exchange. You see? That expression of your humanity was cut off due to the transaction. Because you have to recognize and reconcile that woman would not have put herself in your presence, let alone given you access to her in that manner without the presence of the transaction. And so that creates a split between who you truly are and who you paid to be. You see, with the transaction, you are buying into the fantasy, which is the performance of an illusion. Whereas with the exchange, you are presenting who you truly are and receiving who she truly is in exchange. You see, very, very different. Very different. You walk away from that exchange either with the mindset to expand that dynamic, meaning see her again, do more things, right? Enter into the vetting process or whatever you choose to do. But you also walk away fulfilled because you are tapping into something that's primal. You tapped into your primal nature, but you also tapped into the feminine primal nature, that desire, that burning intimacy. And you got to exist in that moment where everything in your body, everything that you were made of, every molecule got to be awakened. That's what we refer to as aliveness. Let's be clear. That is an experience that is priceless. And that is what we offer as coaches, mentors, and teachers of this thing that we call foundational game. Now, over the course of the conversation with Nigel, he kept bringing up the elements within his culture that have to do with displays of resources or an ability to present a dowry or a bride price. Now, follow me through this portion of it, because what was revealed over the course of multiple sessions with international clients was that their cultural traditions ascribed to the practice of dowry presentations and or bride prices. And this was the case for European clients. This happens in India, even though they're apparently working on trying to abolish that system there. It applies to Asian clients, big over in China, bride prices, you see? And especially in sections in countries in Africa, the Congo, Sudan, Nigeria, Ghana. There's so many places and spaces throughout the world that currently practice this tradition in some way or another. Obviously, it varies based on the cultural tradition. Shout out to His Holiness. He says betrothal. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Arranged marriages. So when we talk about the exchange over the transaction. This is a challenging concept for some men to integrate into their philosophy, because we are having a conversation, we are having sessions, we are unpacking what exists in the environment, the social environment from which they come from, a lot of which are shifting. Those environments are shifting as their societies modernize. I'm using air quotes with that for people who are listening. As their societies modernize and they move towards a capitalist model, in a sort of progressive model of governance, a lot of these traditional ways of approaching and I can't even say dating, I have to say mating and relating. Okay. I think dating is a primarily Western concept, especially having conversations with gentlemen from other regions of the planet. But one of the most important things that came across in a conversation with Nigel, because he kept asking, why is it that specifically Black American men are all about the mouthpiece? Why are you so fixated on having a mouthpiece? Why are you so fixated on how you look, how your grooming, what your haircut is like, not showering a woman with gifts and attention before you even show up? And I had to be honest. I had to break it down to him. Why do we focus on game? Why do we focus on mouthpiece? Why do we focus on our presentation so much? And I simply had to respond respectfully, is that we fought an entire war to abolish buying and selling people. Okay. With all due respect, our attitude towards the mating, dating, and relating landscape has to do with, or it comes from, the challenges that our ancestors faced in their efforts to form bonds, in their efforts to form families, in their efforts to make sense of the then landscape. So when you fight a war, an entire war, the Civil War, based on the ideal and the principle of freedom, of the ability to exist in a nation, in a culture, in an environment where people are not being bought and sold, the idea of a dowry or a bride price is foreign. It doesn't resonate, you see? And so in our culture, our focus, once again, is on our presentation. Our focus, once again, is on how we show up. Our focus is on how we internally understand and appreciate who we are. And we build that up so that we're presenting truth. Because the number one axiom in this thing that we refer to as foundational game is keep it real. You see? Not how much does it cost or how much can I pay? Because when we talk about this thing called foundational game, we are not offering cows. We're not offering property. We're not offering riches. We are offering something that's invaluable. We're offering something that's intangible. We're offering something that is beyond that which can be bought and or sold. You see? We are offering the opportunity for a woman to experience that which brings satisfaction. You see? Shout out to Trisha Fittis. Absolutely. We offer ourselves, and that is who we get to the core of over the course of the consultation sessions. You see? When we talk about this thing that we refer to as foundational game, we have to appreciate how it evolves a person.